Hello there, welcome back to the greatest era of the Pokemon TCG. I'm the Wizard, and today I am going to make a Pokemon card basically from start to finish, and I'm going to show you guys the process that I use to do that. So I already have a card here that I would like to make, but I would also like to show you guys how I get to this point. So this is a friend of mine, Jonathan. Good friend. Thanks for the request. He said that he wants to be the water type trainer, and this picture of Faulkner doesn't look anything like him, but he has the best hair in either of the first two generations. And my friend Jonathan, I have joked with him that he has the best hair on the planet, so he is the hair goat, as I like to call him. So shout out to Jonathan, shout out to Jonathan's hair. You're awesome, dude. So hope that you enjoy this video. So before we actually get into this part, we need to figure out how we got here. So open up Magic Set Editor, and if you're going to start from scratch, you would open a new set, and then you would pick which version of the card era you want. For him, I'm going to use Neo Gyms because I've got Faulkner in this Neo Gyms template, but since that's already created, we'll just do the last open set, so that will bring us to this set here. So it will automatically populate a single grass type card when you bring up this window at first. So all you would see is, nope, not baby, basic. It would be a basic, it wouldn't say Jonathan Ludicolo, and it would, I think it automatically puts Faulkner in the window here because he's the first gym leader option. Although it might default to classic, and then it will, and then it would look like this without the title. So then if you need to switch that, you go into the style, card face, switch it over to gym, and then this gym leader icon will appear here in the corner. So Jonathan's Ludicolo is of course not a basic, it is a stage 2 like it was before, and then we can give it an HP number. We'll give it 80. And then a retreat cost of 2, weakness of, actually let's do lightning, and a resistance of, well, maybe we'll leave that blank for now. So Ludicolo is a water grass Pokemon, so it's actually not going to be weak to fire. And I guess it's probably not going to be weak to lightning either. Let's double check that. So here is Pokemon Database, which is a super helpful website where you can find all sorts of information about your Pokemon. So Ludicolo is indeed a water grass type. It's from the 3rd generation, and it's got all this stuff here. So you've got your national dex number, so it's number 272. It's called the Carefree Pokemon. It's got the base stats here, as well as the abilities, the height and weight, and then the stuff for the egg groups and things like that. All right, now here's what we're looking for, the type effectiveness. So poison is doubly effective, flying, and bug. So I think we're actually going to make Ludicolo weak to grass, because in the early eras of the Pokemon TCG, grass was both grass, bug, and then poison as well. So we'll put that as a grass type weakness. And is there a good resistance that we could do? Could say water. Steel and ground would be only half, but water is a quarter effective. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Minus 30. Now we have our weakness and resistance taken care of. And let's give Ludicolo Pokemon Power. Rain Dish or Rain Dance? Yep, Rain Dish. And now what does Rain Dish do? Rain Dish is an ability that Ludicolo has and a couple of these other Pokemon over here. The Pokemon gradually recovers HP when it's raining. So we have the rain weather condition in the game now, so we can actually make that happen. If the current weather is rain, remove 2 damage counters from Jonathan's Ludicolo. And if you guys remember from this era of the TCG, the Pokemon power and its title would have been red. That's because this is not bolded yet. So when you bold the text, now it becomes red. So now it looks like it's supposed to. And then let's give this an attack. I'll just put a letter there as a placeholder for now so we can see the spacing on it. And what are some of the attacks that Ludicolo has? So if we scroll down even further, you get Pokedex entries, and then finally you get moves that are learned by, we'll go back to Generation 3. Ludicolo Generation 3 can learn Absorb, so we could give it even more healing. So that would be a good one. But also we've got some others. We've got these HMs that it can learn. Some of these egg moves, so Leech Seed, Razor Leaf, Synthesis might be a good one. Pre-evolution moves. Okay, so these are ones that it can learn from its previous evolutions if you wait before evolving it. So Fury Swipes, Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump is a good candidate, and Mega Drain too. So Mega Drain would be a good one for the grass version of this card, because there is also a water one that I'm planning. So maybe we'll do that. Let's do Mega Drain. And what does Mega Drain do? Well, it's powerful. It's got 40 power, and it deals damage and recovers 50% of the HP that gets drained. So Mega Drain. If this attack does damage, remove how much damage do we want Mega Drain to do? This is a stage 2, so maybe we'll make it do 60 damage. If this attack does damage, remove 3 damage counters from Jonathan's Ludicolo. Okay, so this card hopefully is going to be impossible to knock out unless you're going up against a grass type Pokemon. But having Rain active, and you're removing 2 damage counters, and then if you're getting off a Mega Drain, then that would be 3 damage counters. So 50 damage is being removed from this Jonathan's Ludicolo every turn, hopefully. If this attack is not doing damage, then of course that would not actually take place. So there must be at least some sort of counter to this, so that way it doesn't actually do the damage. So if, for example, there would be like a smokescreen attack where you have to flip a coin in order for it to do the damage, or some other effect like that on your opponent's Pokemon's attack, then that could be negated. So you wouldn't be able to remove those damage counters. So this isn't completely broken, at least I don't think so. But of course we'll play test all this stuff, and we'll see if that is indeed the case. So we've got our our name, HP, a Pokemon power, attack, attack damage, attack cost, retreat cost, weakness, resistance, and we've decided that Jonathan is going to look like Faulkner here. Excuse me. Then, what does Jonathan's Ludicolo evolve from? I wonder. I know what he evolves from, but let's just go back here to show you guys exactly how you can find all this stuff. Oh yeah, in this page here we've got the evolution chart. So Ludicolo actually starts as a Lotad and then becomes a Lombre at level 14, and then when you use a Water Stone, you evolve it into Ludicolo. So I have showcased in another video that I'm going to have Water Stones and Fire Stones and Lightning Stones and or Thunder Stones, and those are going to have special effects on Pokemon that evolve from those particular stones. So this is an interesting one that we could figure out how this can synthesize and synergize with that card in particular. So this might be a good candidate for the Celadon department store location card that I have shown in the past. So just something to note about that for later. So, and that is part of my creative process. So making a card from scratch. I don't only use the stuff that's here. So like the ability and the leveling up and the type chart and then the attacks and stuff. I'm always thinking about how these things can interact. So the fact that this is a Waterstone evolution, I'm going to keep that in mind. All right, so it evolves from Lombre. So I'm just going to copy and paste that out of the website so I don't spell it incorrectly. And then Jonathan's is kind of a long name, so rather than typing all that out, we will simply put that right there. So now we know that this evolves from Jonathan's Lombre. And because this is now here, Jonathan's Lombre, I am going to create a Jonathan's Lombre. It is a stage 1, and then now we've got this one set up and ready for next time. But we'll leave that one for now. Back to Ludicolo. Okay, so we've got the picture right here and the picture here, which is basically all that we have left for this card. So now I showed these in the last video, and where were they? I believe it was Magic Set Editor Assets, Art of Pokemon, Pokemon Shuffle. Yep, there we go. Okay, so down to the 3rd generation, where we will find our friend Lombre. There he is, looking smug. All right, and then this gives you the portion of the image that you want. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. Original size, size to fit, force to fit, custom size, and then I think this is what it was before. So you can zoom in, zoom out. You can manually do the selection, so you see how those numbers change here when you move that up and down. So here we are 15 pixels down from the top. There we are 0 pixels down from the top. I am actually going to start that over again because I just like the way that it opens up initially. So we got to find them again. Once again, looking smug. So size to fit, it goes halfway in between. So it would have been 0 or 15 top to bottom. So 7 splits the difference, which I think is fine. Then we just go OK. Now we've got his little evolution icon in the corner. And we do not have a photo of Ludicolo on my computer, so we got to go to the internet to find one. So back to this Let's Find Pokemon Found. This is what I showed in the last video. So we've got all these options for the generations to pick from, and Ruby and Sapphire is the game where Ludicolo was introduced. So the third generation. If we scroll down and we click on the image, it brings it up, makes it bigger, so that way we can actually look through it and try to find our friend. But on a go to Ruby and Sapphire, that one should definitely have, and look at that, he's right there on the cover actually. Can we bring the cover up to make it bigger? Nope, not on this one. Alright, so it looks like we'll have to find them in the book actually. So here's this first page. Looking around for him. I'll speed up the process at this point until I actually do find him, so don't never mind, here he is. Now what I do with these is I just take a simple screen grab, Windows Shift S. If you hold down all of those, you bring up this screen grab thing, and then I simply draw a box that kind of looks like the Pokemon artwork box, and then these go into my captures, which I believe are in my pictures. Screenshots is what it's called. On your computer it might default to go somewhere else, so just find out where your screenshots do save. This was a folder that just appeared on my desk or on my computer automatically. Okay, so this is what the picture looks like, which looks pretty good for what we're trying to use it for. So I think we will go ahead and put that into the card frame. Now we go back in here and need to find it again. So that was pictures, screenshots, and it's the very last one. So again, we've got all these options for the card here, and looks like this is probably the best that I've ever done. So again, this will allow you to move the picture around, decide if you want to scale it and stuff, but this actually looks really good. So we'll just click OK, and now that's in the frame here. So the only thing that would be left is all this little auxiliary stuff. So this is the Pokedex entry, and then down here you've got the card artist, and then the level and number. So this, we said this was number 272, and we'll make it a level, I don't know, 44. Number 272. And just to make sure that it's level then the number, I'm going to look to see what a gym Pokemon card looks like. This I've shown before but never have like highlighted this. pkmncards.com/sets has been a super helpful website. They've got the catalog of every single card that's ever existed. Okay, so it goes, yep, it goes level, then the Pokedex number, and then the illustrator goes underneath. Okay, so that's helpful. So this website has been really helpful with like, where do all of these pieces of information go on the card? So what's the spacing on this? Are the energy icons too big, too small? The text of the attacks and stuff, is it too big or too small, and things like that. So I use this pretty often. All right, so level first, 272. If there's anything that is the norm for the entire set, you can go into set info, and then the artist, and then the copyright. So if I was doing is not $6 to $99. And then the artist is Let's Find Pokemon. And then this will cover all of the Let's Find Pokemon, because I think we're going to use that for all of Jonathan's cards, just like we've been doing for Nathaniel and Nathan. So now this pretty much looks like a full-on Pokemon card. And one thing that I wanted to highlight about this part of the card, so in the Nathaniel's set, I had a couple of them that were not their actual Pokedex listing. So like from before, Legendary Pokemon is Arcanine's actual title, or whatever you want to call that. I changed this because what I would like to do is to allow this to be another point of gameplay. So this is just Pokedex information. This is just a fun little inclusion that makes the cards more so come to life. But in other card games, there are secondary ways that cards can be lumped together and to feed off of each other. So instead of having this be the legendary Pokemon, have it to be something about the fact that it's a dog, and then you can have a dog's archetype. There is also no dragon type in the early Pokemon TCG, so I'm going to have dragon be a I'm not even sure what we're going to call this, like an attribute or something that would be recorded right here. And then also flying in the Pokemon TCG is not indicated by one of the type icons. So that is going to be something that's included here. So flying Pokemon will now be in the game, and this is the spot where that's going to happen. It won't be in the typing, because the typing is already kind of set in stone. But including that here is a way of being able to actually do that. So that was my plan for that. So I don't know if I want to do anything with Ludicolo right now. I might just leave this blank and then try to figure that out later. But he was the carefree Pokemon, if you remember from just a moment ago. So that is complete now, other than, like I mentioned, just this little Pokedex entry box. But we'll try to figure that out later. So if you have enjoyed what I'm doing, making custom formats and custom cards, if you would like to have one made for yourself, reach out, let me know, drop a comment or send me a private message on YouTube. Otherwise, if you know me in person, send me a Facebook message or a text and just let me know what you want your icon to look like, if you've got an idea for it, or your type specialty, and a couple of Pokemon ideas. So of course Jonathan wanted to be a water type gym leader, so I've got all these water types, and then their other type counterparts. So Kabutops and Omastar are rock type, so we'll have a fighting type which reflects that, and then his Greninja and Empoleon have their secondary typings too. So if that's of interest to you, let me know. Also, if you would like to subscribe, that would be great. Share this video with a friend, like the video, and let's keep having fun with Pokemon. All right, so until next time, we'll see ya.